Hi, I'm Bridgette Hylton, and I'm here with Sanam Zaer, and we're part of A Better Shrewsbury. We are so honored today to have with us Al Green from the LGBT Asylum, and we're really excited to talk to him about some upcoming events in the community that we'd love to share with you all. But before we do that, we always love to start every episode off with a random question. And we got first today, Sanam.
Okay, let me pull up our random question. So today we are going to name three things in nature that we find beautiful.
Okay.
So I don't know who wants to go first. Al, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Well, first, let me say thank you for having me on the show. It's great to be able to talk a little bit about the work that we're doing in Worcester. Three things that I find most beautiful in nature. I love greenery, so I love like a fresh grass after a rainfall. I would say the birds chirping and their beautiful melodies. And hmm, it's a third thing that I think is beautiful. Um, I'd say the rainbows, right? I mean, it is a symbol of, and I'm religious, it's a symbol of God's God's promise to his people. And it is just a beautiful sight after a rainfall.
That's beautiful. You know, one time I had a rainbow that ended in my yard. It was like a really misty, hazy day, and the end of the rainbow was right in our yard. It was like this once in a lifetime thing, I think, that happened to us.
That is
Um,
cool.
yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. What about you, Sanam?
Um, you go first. I need my third thing.
Okay, well, as Saddam knows, I cannot go a single episode without referencing Jamaica. So I will say, coming from the island of Jamaica or having ancestry from the island of Jamaica, we have some of the most beautiful rivers and waterfalls in the world. It's known as the land of wood and water. And you can go pretty much anywhere on the island and you're going to find a river that is just azure blue, and it's going to have these beautiful waterfalls that you can jump off of in some cases, or you can ride a small boat down the river. It's just that kind of setting to me is just amazing. And I want to say that that is also bringing up for me right now what's going on in Hawaii as they start to recover from those devastating wildfires, because people have told me that Hawaii is one of the places in the world that most closely resembles Jamaica in terms of the prevalence of water and waterfalls and things like that. So we're thinking of our brothers and sisters in Hawaii as they deal with the horrible repercussions like the wildfires. So definitely waterfalls, water, I would say in pretty much any tropical water is like my way. I would say in nature, things that you plant and cultivate yourself, whatever it is, right? So if you plant a tomato, that tomato then becomes the most beautiful tomato. Like right now, the project I'm working on is I planted some rose bushes from seeds from my friend's garden. So I took the rose hips from her rose bushes and I have overwintered them in the refrigerator, and then I took them out and I put them in soil, and they've been growing slowly, slowly all summer. And just within the last few weeks, they started to really proliferate and really grow and show off. And I'm reminded of the quote from A Little Prince where he says, you know, it's my rose because I'm the one that put her under glass and picked off the caterpillars. And that's how I feel about nature. And I think that's why humankind, apart from the necessity for food, has developed this love of growing beautiful things, because there's something really special about that when you are one with nature in that way. That's two. Gosh, this is like a lot. This question is bringing up so many things. And I would say the third thing that I always think of when I think of beautiful is also sort of a reference to Jamaica, but it's hummingbirds. And I think about how something so small and so delicate, I mean, they're really precious creatures, um, can move so fast and do so much of the work, along with the bees, of course, of keeping nature running the way that it's supposed to and pollinating things. And I just think it's beautiful.
Those were good ones. Those were all good ones. Um, for me, I think this behind me is a beautiful piece of nature that I really love. I am currently in my dining room, and every season this backdrop changes. So it's kind of like having a rotating painting because it gets really good light too. So I have right now green, And then we'll have the, dead trees in the fall with the colors first, then the dead trees. And then in the winter, it's this perfect winter wonderland back there. And then the summer, it becomes like this again. It's just really beautiful to see. Rocks, I'm going to say rocks because neither of you said rocks, but I find rocks to be beautiful as well. When I was younger, I used to like collect gemstones and just cool rocks that I found. I don't know. They're surprising because you see something that's, sturdy and it's probably been around for generations, centuries, but there it is. It's there and it's still beautiful, and some of them have secret crystals on the inside, and I just find that really beautiful. And a third one, I'm gonna go with a monstera plant, and I'm actually gonna show one in case people don't know what it is. But this is not a full plant, but this is just a leaf. I'm sure lots of people have seen these leaves, but I find this plant to be very intentional but chaotic at the same time because the leaves just kind of grow big and huge and all over the place towards the light. So it's very chaotic, but the leaves are so intentional. They're just headed towards the light. So I just find monstera plants in general to be very beautiful.
No, they are.
I love them. All right, so let's dive into the meat and potatoes of today's episode. So Al, I know we mentioned at the start of the episode, you're part of an organization called the LGBT Asylum. Could you tell us a little bit about what that is, when it was founded?
All right, so the LGBT Asylum Task Force is a ministry of Haddon Park Congregational Church, UCC. So that's United Church of Christ. For those who are familiar with or not familiar with the denomination, it is on the liberal, more progressive end of the spectrums as far as Christian churches are concerned. In 2008, a gay asylum seeker was referred to our church for support. He was homeless, he was hungry, and he had doubts as to whether God loved him as a gay person. His attorney, remembering that our church was very vocal, and our pastor very vocal during the state's equal marriage fight, decided to refer him to our congregation for just general support. It was a huge learning curve for us, right? Learning the issues or special issues that asylum seekers face, and even more so when they're LGBTQ. But the church got together, provided housing and support for this first asylum seeker, and since then we've directly housed and fed almost 400 people from 30 different countries. We definitely did not start out thinking that would grow into this massive entity that is providing housing and support for about 40 asylum seekers at any given time. But just throughout the years, as word got out about the work that we're doing, people started sending in more donations, and asylum seekers, LGBTQ asylum seekers who are in need of support, found out about us and started coming to us for help. Some folks just show up at our doors. It's not uncommon on a Sunday to see someone with a suitcase or a backpack just waiting outside before service starts. We've always had an open door policy. If someone shows up at the door, we don't turn them away. Even when, especially during COVID, when we were over capacity, we still, through partnerships with local volunteers or through other means, we tried to find accommodations.
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah.
For anyone listening who may not be aware, can you speak a little bit about some of the reasons why this particular demographic, some of the challenges this particular demographic may face locally, and maybe some of the reasons they're leaving their home countries?
Sure. So it is illegal to be LGBTQ in about 70 countries throughout the world. And so when you're thinking about the fact that there are about 200 or so countries, almost a third of the countries in the world are anti-LGBTQ. And when I say that, it could be that folks face imprisonment, they could face death, they could face mob beatings and discrimination in their home countries. And so it's not safe for an individual to be there. And so they'll turn to other countries that on the face of it are far more accepting of LGBTQ folks and provide protections like the US. And so folks will come here in seek of safety and support. It is definitely not an easy process, right? For most folks, from the point they get to the US to the point when they can legally work to support themselves, that can be over 2 years. And so oftentimes people end up having to deplete whatever limited savings they might have, or they end up having to um, resort to living in unsafe situations because they're not necessarily able to provide for themselves, and that kind of necessitated the need for the task force being formed. When it comes to unique challenges that LGBTQ asylum seekers face, I would summarize it in saying that unlike other immigrants or other non-LGBTQ identifying asylum seekers, the folks that we provide support for aren't necessarily able to find community from or with the folks who are from their home countries. Oftentimes, folks from those countries, even though they're in the U.S., still have their beliefs and still have their anti-LGBTQ um, um, their beliefs. And so folks will be here and still face discrimination, still face um, being hurt or tortured. We've had folks who've come to us after being forced to live in the garage and sleep on the floor, or having to wait until everyone else in the household has eaten before they get to eat, or have been forced to eat the table scraps, or even if they're on their own because they're in that community, they're forced to, they've been stoned on their way home from work or um, to school or wherever. And so it, like I said, they're just those unique challenges that folks face.
And I imagine that there's, we live in Massachusetts where it's fortunately pretty liberal, and a lot of communities don't think was about offering support to LGBTQ individuals. But I know there are pockets within Massachusetts and in other areas of the country where even groups that have been set up to receive refugees that who are, not Native American, sorry, born in the United States, American citizens who may not feel comfortable welcoming LGBTQ individuals to give them the same resources that they might give to a different asylum seeker as well. So it's not just within the communities coming here that they might face discrimination, but I imagine that there are some right-wing Christian, possibly groups and other, like what's that church that's always protesting this, Westboro, is it called Westboro? I don't remember.
Oh, Westboro Baptist.
Yeah, things, groups like that who may not be willing to welcome LGBTQ individuals.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we have folks who will protest the Pride celebrations in Worcester where we're located, or whenever there is some media publicity about the work that we're doing. You have to look no further than the comment section. You have to look no further than folks who will turn out to town hall meetings when certain issues are being debated or discussed, to realize that, yeah, even in the city of Worcester where we're located, we have those issues.
That's really heartbreaking because, immigrants already are so isolated when they come here because they're coming to a totally different culture. But for the LGBTQ youth that you're saying, they're coming and they can't even tap into that community oftentimes because of the beliefs that people have from those communities. So it sounds like the work you're doing is very urgent because you're creating that community for youth that may not have it. Do you work with a specific age group?
So we don't work with youth, actually. So we primarily, well, exclusively we work with folks who are 18 plus, and because minors tend to have a whole set of requirements that we're necessarily set up to be able to address. And so we exclusively work with folks who are 18 plus, and we provide this very critical care. We provide the housing, we provide food, we provide connections to pro bono lawyers, medical, mental health resources. We take folks to go open up a bank account. We will have monthly workshops on financial literacy, how to get a driver's license, how to find a job, find an apartment. We provide all of the resources that someone might need within their first few years here in the US. and it has had immense results. To date, 100% of the folks that we've housed have gone on to receive asylum,
Wow.
and that compared to less than 20% in the overall system. And so it just speaks volumes to the impact that providing community, providing basic support services can have on people's outcomes.
Actually, that's a pretty impressive statistic. I'm really happy that you shared that with us. And I think maybe that's a good segue into an important event that you guys have coming up, the gala, because I know that when I think about where I'm going to be during gala season and who I want to support, I want an organization that has a track record of really doing good work and getting results. And it sounds like you guys have that. So could you tell us a little bit about the gala that's coming up?
Sure. So the gala will be on September 30 at the DCU Center. It is going to be from Saturdays from 5:30 to 10:30 p.m. There is a live auction. There is food. There's a dance party with a DJ. There's stories from asylum seekers. It really is a fun evening. Folks can find out more information about it on our website, lgbtasylum.org/gala. And they can also find out more information about the organization there and hopefully make a donation. It is extremely costly to do this work. It costs us over $50,000 per month in order to do it, to support the about 40 people that are in our housing at any given time. And so we're always fundraising. The gala is actually our largest fundraiser for the year. It's where we bring in about a quarter of our annual revenue. And so we definitely invite all of the listeners, anyone that's out there, to A, buy a ticket and come and support, and B, spread the word and invite others to do that.
And I saw on the website that there's an opportunity to actually meet a lot of the people that are in the program. Did I read that wrong, or I think that was...
No, that's correct. So the majority of folks that we've supported or are supporting, and a lot who we've supported over the years, will be in attendance. It is a milestone year. It's our 15th anniversary of the task force. It's unfortunate that we've had to be in existence this long, but it is at the same time great that we're able to pool resources and to bring the community together to be able to provide support to folks who are most in need of it. As I tell people all the time, our church and the task force, we're just a conduit through which quite literally thousands of people throughout New England and throughout the country, and actually internationally as well, provide this support to LGBTQ asylum seekers.
So, do you guys have a formal like organization, or is this all volunteer work that you guys do? I mean, are you employed by the task force, or are you guys all volunteers?
So we have two full-time employees and a part-time employee. And then the rest of folks who are involved are volunteers.
Wow, that's incredible. That's
Do you
incredible.
have any volunteering opportunities that you'd like to share for anyone who might be interested in joining?
Sure. There are tons of ways in which folks can participate. It all depends on their availability and their skills, but there's certainly a need with helping folks to get to appointments, so providing drives, rides, to helping folks look for apartments, to helping to critique resumes and provide support in that way. There are tons of ways. Folks can reach out to us at info@lgbtasylum.org. And they can also come to our community dinners that are held every second Monday of the month at 6 p.m. at the church, 6 Clover Street in Worcester, Haddon Park Congregational Church. There, they'll get to meet with the asylum seekers and get to know what people's individual needs are. This just happens at this coming Monday. I'm not sure when the episode will be aired, but this coming Monday happens to be the second Monday of the month. And so folks can definitely come to this one, September 11th. If not, they can join us in November or October.
Slow down, slow down.
Yeah.
And November as well.
Yeah, in November. That's wonderful. It's such a great service that you all are providing, and to hear that so many people are volunteering their time and that there's opportunities for other people to get involved. It's just absolutely wonderful. Also, we thank you so much for all the work that you and the LGBT Asylum are doing in our community and for the world, really. So it's just fantastic. I know there's some other LGBTQ events going on in the city of Worcester right now as well. Is it Pride Week? Is that
It is, well, Pride season, we call it,
Pride
because it,
season?
it's 2 weeks, the 1st to the 15th. There are tons of events that are happening. We actually have the festival taking place this coming Saturday Saturday the 9th from 2 to 7 p.m. and downtown Worcester by City Hall. We're expecting almost 20,000 people in attendance. It will be one of Worcester's largest Pride festivals ever. And so there's an opportunity. And outside of that, there are tons of events that are on the calendar. We have almost 40 events that are on the main calendar throughout the period. And so folks can go to prideworcester.org to see the full list of events.
Wow,
Oh, that
that's
sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been to Worcester Pride. I've been in Boston, but never Worcester. So it's nice to know that we have one. Just
Come to
right
Worcester on Saturday.
there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you so much for highlighting different ways that people can both participate and get involved, because sometimes people see, issues that they care about or issues that they're learning about, and you've given us, events we can attend, ways we can donate financially, and ways we can participate just through volunteering our time through our specific skill set. So there's something for everyone here.
No, most definitely. And then that's if there's any takeaway that I can leave folks with, it's that they should just get involved. There are just so many opportunities out there, whether it is with the task force or some other entity. There are just tons of agencies, organizations that are doing tremendous work in the community, and folks don't need to feel as though they need to be doing all of the work. They can just get involved and play some small part in the work that is being done by the great work that is being done by the community.
Yeah, that's great. And another thing I'll add is that, in Worcester, there's a lot of great organizations like what you're doing. But here in Shrewsbury, we're having an increase in the number of refugees that are being settled here by the state. And it's really time for the suburbs to build this capacity and maybe replicate some of the work that people like you are doing in Worcester, because there's a need for it, and not just in Worcester, but around Worcester as well. So that's another reason people should get involved, to learn and to replicate.
No, so certainly we need as many people involved in the fight as possible.
I think the standard is you do and you give, right? So you volunteer and you give money, but if you can't do, you should give, and if you can't give, you should do. And if we do it like that, then everyone's going to be able to help kind of address the needs of the community here in central Massachusetts and like you said, around the world. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for all the great work that you and the organization are doing in our community to support our brothers and sisters who are seeking asylum here in the LGBTQ community. We really, really appreciate you, and hopefully get some fantastic news about the Pride Parade this Saturday, the Pride celebration, and about the gala on September 30th at the DCD Center.
Awesome. No, thank you.